The last tab we're going to go over in the selection automatics is the parameters tab. The parameters tab has three basic sections. The first section is going to be whether or not we like to highlight the entity we've chosen under selection. In this particular tutorial, it's going to be fittings. And whether we'd like to highlight those entities without their tags, with their tags, or just their tags, which means PractiCAD would let go of the entity itself, like the fitting, and only highlight the tags inside or associated with that particular entity. For example, here what we're going to do is say, let's run it without tags. We've got selection, fittings, duct line forward. As far as conditions, we're going to say, highlight the entire PractiCAD single wall library. So we've got it set for without tags. We press OK. We run duct line forward, and you can see that the tags themselves are not highlighted. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run the same automatic, but this time we're going to say with tags. So here we're going to check with tags. We're going to press OK. We're going to select the duct line, and now you can see that PractiCAD's grabbing the fitting entity plus all the tags associated with it. And the last option would be tags only. Here we're going to go into the auto selection. We're going to choose to do tags only, and now we're going to press OK and run the automatic again. Here you can see that PractiCAD doesn't highlight the fittings, but it highlights the tags associated with the fittings. So this can be used whenever you want to get a hold of just the tags associated to specific entities. The second part in the parameters tab is to choose between the options to append to current selection set or replace current selection set. Append current selection set basically means that if we've got something already highlighted on the drawing, we want to add the new selection to the existing one. For example, we're going to check append to current selection set, and we're going to press OK. Notice that we already have a second duct line on our drawing highlighted. So when we go to run the new selection automatic, notice that PractiCAD adds this selection automatic to the existing one, or it appends to the current selection set. However, if we were to run the same thing using replace, it will replace the existing selection set with the new one. Here what we're going to do is we're going to go back into the selection tab. We're going to go here and choose replace current selection. We're going to press OK. And now we've got one duct line highlighted. But when we go to click duct line forward here, PractiCAD lets go or replaces the existing selection, so we only have one. So you can choose between having your selection automatics append or replace. The last option under the parameters tab in the auto selection section is the option for save selection set as and open selection from. Now this is actually a very advanced option, and the main purpose of these features was to have PractiCAD during the course of an Ultimatic reselect entities that were let go by AutoCAD during that procedure. There are separate tutorials on designing Ultimatics, and we will go over this section again there in greater detail. Currently, to conclude this tutorial, what we're going to do is show you the basic function of these two options. What we're going to do is we're going to exit out of the auto select for a minute. We're just going to highlight 3 fittings here with their tags, and then we're going to highlight 3 fittings here as well. And notice we've got tags and duct highlighted. What we're going to do is we're going to hit the auto selection tool, and we're going to run a selection automatic, but this time we're going to incorporate these features. The selection automatic we're going to run is going to say let's use fittings, currently selected fittings, which currently is only 6 on the drawing. And we're going to say for parameters, let's highlight the fittings without tags. But what we're going to say is when we run this automatic this one time, we want to save the selection set as, and we're going to give it a name. And here we're going to name it PCAD duct. What this means is when we run this selection automatic, PractiCAD is going to retain in its memory that whatever's highlighted during this automatic will be associated with the name PCAD duct, so that we can then open that selection set later on. For example, we're going to press OK. You can see that PractiCAD runs a selection automatic. It highlighted the fittings that were currently selected, and it did it without tags. Now, once I hit escape and PractiCAD has let go of those fittings, because I said to save selection set as and gave it a name, PCAD duct, as long as I don't run a selection set with that name again, for as long as I work on my drawing, PractiCAD is going to remember that selection set under that name. So I could come in here and we can draw another entire duct line or continue working. But if I would like to re-highlight those entities based on the selection set name, we can come into the auto selection button and we can say, let's highlight the whole drawing. Let's do the parameters without tags. So we're going to say highlight all the fittings on the entire drawing. But instead of save selection set, we're going to say open selection from, and we're going to put PCAD duct in there. And what it's going to do is it's going to go into its memory bank and it's going to reopen or reselect all of the fittings that were last saved under the selection set with that name. So when we press OK, you can see that PractiCAD re-highlighted the 6 fittings we highlighted before. Once again, the main purpose of this will become very clear when you go to design long ultimatics and you need PractiCAD to re-highlight entities in the middle of those ultimatics. This tutorial is just going to show you the basic functionality. It is also going to conclude the auto selection section.